Hey everybody, it's Nick here from Crimson Medici, and I'm going to do some vlogs. As we said in the interview, we're going to do some vlogs, and so I thought I'd start with kind of what we're doing and studioing type stuff. So over the course of the next set of how many studio videos we're going to record, we're just going to take you through sort of how we go about recording all the various different elements to the next album that we're doing. As you can see by the cameras, I'm looking at you, and I've got a keyboard camera because I thought it'd be good to sort of show you what I do. But the first thing I wanted to do was sort of give you an idea of the equipment we use in the studio and sort of how we go about songwriting. And the thing that you can see on the screen is Ableton. And Ableton is a digital audio workstation, DAW, that we use for writing. And people have different DAWs. There's lots of different flavors of them. I use Ableton, have done for years. It's brilliant for MIDI type stuff, which is where you're working with electronic keyboards and that sort of thing. It's great for recording audio, but people have different opinions on how you record audio. Anyway, Ableton is what we use for writing. When we're mastering, we use a different DAW. We use something called Harrison Mixbus, which is absolutely just a superb summing engine. So it sums all the music together. It sounds and feels a lot better than something like Ableton. However, Ableton is what we use for songwriting. Thought what I'd do is just sort of show you some of the instruments we use to give you a feel of how we go about recording drums, bass, guitars, synths, vocals, and so on. So over the course of the next set of videos, I'll sort of show you how we do that. First of all, though, I thought I would show you sort of the instrumentation we have available. So the first one, as you can hear, is just kind of a beautiful synth. And this album, we're using a binaural synth, which is just fabulous to listen to, and I'm just going to show this to you guys so you can kind of see what it looks like. So let me just bring it onto the screen. So here you've got something called ephemeral. You can kind of hear it's just a beautiful sound. You can't quite see that off the camera there, but so you just got a fabulous so the synths we're good with, but what about other instrumentation? So other instruments we use are I've got access to a fantastic bass, and all bass players are going to sigh now as they hear themselves being singled out. So this is by a software company called UJAM, and this is the Royal bass, and I mean, that's just fabulous. We all know that, right? So, but it's just a... So we've got a bass, and what happens when I write, I write and I'm thinking about how a bass player would play something. I've played with a lot of bass players in the 40 odd years I've been a musician, and so playing to bass lines and listening to how bassists emphasize the tracks they are playing to always reminds me of just how cool bass can be at the right times. And so working with that is just fantastic, and I'll play you some of the stuff we're working on at the moment to give you a sense of that. Another thing I've learned to play in the years I've been keyboard playing is I've learned how to play drums, and I've been a drummer for 25 years now as a physical drummer. I learned to play drums in 2000 actually, and I've played in bands as a drummer, but my first instrument is keyboards. And when I was a kid, I learned how to play drums on keyboards. So you've got all the course, I'm not going to be as good as a full-on live drummer, but it does help in the recording process that we can record all these different instruments, of course, in the studio, just here with me. And so thinking through how those sorts of things will sound brings them together songs. And so there'll be all sorts of different things that bring out what do I like the sound of. And the last one to bring out is kind of the guitars. And again, we're playing a so we've got just a simple sort of strumming there. So again, we can come up with sorts of different things. Now, the track I've got loaded doesn't look like much to you guys, but this is called Follow Me, and this particular track we've started to write, and I'm just going to mute the vocals out just so that you don't get a sense of that yet. But I'll play some of it. So let me just sort of start it. So this is called Follow Me. It's all about social media, right? So you kind of get the idea of how that sounds. So if I just jump on to maybe one of the big synth lines. So you kind of get the idea of the big synth line. I'll bring in the last piece. So let's just start it there. What happens then? That's the question. What happens then? Let's just say it goes berserk, which is just great fun. So I hope that's sort of given you an idea of kind of what this studio is about and the process. And I'm going to take you through some more songs in other vlogs and how I write and things like that. But I really hope that that's been some insight to you. Thanks for watching, and till next time, I'm Nick Crimson Medici.